Wherever the man purchases musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. Ah!
Oh boy.
Oh no, we were blown back by the force of his riz.
As I suspected, you can't fool me. And I don't suggest you try.
What did I say, eh? I've had enough of this now.
Beg your pardon? Terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that?
Mr. Naruhodo,
God.
we mustn't give up.
What do you mean? I would love to give up.
If the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsume is guilty.
She's absolutely right.
We must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully.
They claim Sosuke-san must have passed the location of the incident on his way home from your books, but... Objection. Maybe he didn't.
It's like...
It's a
gone down
longer way, but it's not like... But it's not like a ludicrously longer way compared to going from Bourbon Books down Calabash.
Yeah.
I just really wish we could see what the books were. Secret message.
Oh.
Lawyer's name is embroidered on the inside here. Look. Azuma Asugi. It was his band, of course.
He had his heart set on this study tour in Great Britain.
I'm sure he would have found the truth he longed for here. He lost his life before he even had the chance to see the place.
I have such a strong sense of his hopes and dreams when I look at this armband, though. I just felt like looking at that. I mean...
You're doing fiddling with that.
I mean, obviously we gotta raise an objection. It's just...
I mean, yeah, obviously.
The assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed.
Explain yourself, counsel.
Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. Returning from your books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, it isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. The defendant used these streets. Look what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked.
Objection.
But he did say he saw her, so...
Yeah, but
Harking
he's close
back
enough to have seen it.
Harking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that that route is what is commonly referred to as the long way
But
round.
not by that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Turn to the peanut butter baby. A cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home? Route. I can't decide what. The answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime. But... Ha! Yes, I've got it! Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Natsume which route he took home. I've already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection. Ah.
That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B. There was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home.
I don't believe this! Something, believe it. Thank you, my learned friend. I suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around this subject. Pray, what say you insightful jurors? But even if that is the... Stop interrupting me. I agree with Lord Van Zeeks. wholeheartedly and in every way. But I don't believe it. Does this mean... He members of the jury. Completely convinced now.
Very well. In that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
I didn't know they had voice clips.
Good. Oh, good. We're gonna do the thing again.
Yep.
Here, the jury's leading is unanimous.
I go to bed now. To the unsightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably. What is that mouse doing on screen?
Mr. Naruhodo.
No, not yet. This isn't over yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury.
I think we'll do this and then call it.
Have to tip the balance of those scales the other way. I have to turn this around. Somehow. I will do it in song. No. Those are the eyes of Quarry not yet willing to give up and die. We can fix that. I presume you intend to wield your rights again in this trial. Eyes of the defense written into antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago because they're inconvenient to me. Call it antiquated if you will. The defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it chooses.
Oh shit. Very well, counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with a summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman?
Of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nepalese whippersnapper and his uncle's refusal to throw in his alley. Uncle's?
Very well then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Judicial findings.
Judicial findings. For pity's sake, that little Nepalese oddity already admitted it himself, didn't he?
But he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes. Why it can only have been the victim?
The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. Not in winter.
So the poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
I really don't care. Can we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing.
Your books, yes. Nice shop, that. Bourbon books? No, not worth a visit.
Though you weren't hearing anything during number 6.
I hear what I want to hear, bitch.
With only minor exceptions, the reasons for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear.
When the stabbing occurred, the only two people at the scene were the victim and the accused. And no witnesses. The accused himself is admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sing to the ground before his eyes. Ground?
Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already.
Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt now.
You have to run away like that. How are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible. How can I possibly make a case for the defense?
Mr. Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling, if we want to force the trial to continue.
Yes, I know. I have to turn the tide. Let's make the jurors change their minds. For them, at least.
Exactly. We have no choice but to forge forward.
I think bribery would work.
On the floor, Counsel. Begin your submission examination.
Yes, my lord. Just need to keep this trial going somehow. Whatever it takes. Come on, Ryunosuke. You can do it. If I can't,
Sure, you
I will
can.
cut them down.
Alright. Okay, admitted already. He said a woman in green clasped before his eyes had to have been the victim. Wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. She was attacked from behind. I don't care. And your books is a nice shop, but Bourbon Books is not worth a visit.
But why ever is it not?
Ugh. Oh, we can press, actually.
We can press them.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but... Aren't you... Yes, that's right. I was a witness in this... I was in the witness stand myself just 2 days ago. Yes, I had a feeling I knew your face. Oh, the side of it, anyway. If I remember correctly, you're a banker, aren't you? Right. The gold rush down under, I came back to London to work. It was all going swimmingly until you started fossicking around. Bruce Fairplay was a man of repute. Sorry. Don't think I've forgotten how you treated me the other day. You had me and the young Hatter pegged as criminals. Oh, well, you know, water under the bridge. There's all sorts of rumors buzzing around. The police have been badgering me non-stop.
Yeah, that's not our fault.
If I could turn back the clock, I'd do it again. Well, anyway, I don't know about the Hatter, but at least I'm in the clear now.
Okay, so it only took you 2 days to sort it out. That's like...
Yeah, that's pretty good. And free to make up my own mind about who's guilty and who isn't. Goodness. Right, maybe I might struggle to change this man's mind given our awkward history.
But yeah, I wonder what's become of Mr. First now.
He became Mr. Second.
Hold it!
You're right that at the time of the incident, the defendant admits to having seen someone wearing a green overcoat walking ahead of him.
That's my point, precisely. That's precisely my point. Clearly, that someone in green was the victim. And clearly, that funny little Nipponese man with the disturbing mustache is the culprit.
How's his mustache
Disturbing, is it? But let us not forget, madam, the defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman.
Why, of course he does. If he admits to stabbing her, his life is over. The man is obviously a liver-faced coward. Honestly, claiming the woman simply collapsed before his eyes.
But if that's the lies you're suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible?
They could say. After all, you are foreign. What's to say what goes through your funny little minds?
I could tell you what's going through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it.
But I do declare that the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that there is nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious. No one else could possibly have committed this awful crime. If no one else could have done it, the accused must be the man. Really, it couldn't have been more simple. Your argument is compelling in its simplicity, I must admit. Oh my, you are too kind, my lord.
That went well, for her.
Hold it!
But you can't deny that there are other routes Mr. Natsumi could have taken back from your books.
Oh yes, like you drew on the map, you mean? What was it, Calabash Road or something?
Precisely.
But it seems to me that what counts is whether the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not.
Yes, that's true.
And at the moment, there's no proof that shows what he did, is there?
Well, yes, that's true as well.
And as I understand it, the accused himself doesn't remember which way he went, does he?
Oh, yes, that's annoyingly true.
Winter nights are dark and cold, so the way I see it, you want to get home as quickly as possible.
Well, yes. Why is this all true?
So really, the only thing that makes sense is that he went home along Briar Road.
I'm supposed to be convincing you here.
I have given it a lot of thought, you know. I didn't just make up my mind on a whim that he did it. I mean, if there was some logical reason why he might have gone the Calabash Roadway, it'd be different. I'd be happy to reconsider my position in that case. Honest, I would.
A reason why Soseki-san might have taken the longer way home.
Yes, a good reason. I don't imagine you'll be able to sway this young man's opinion without one.
Reason is, he didn't want to be convicted for murder.
Hold it!
But that's a young man.
You're the wife of Mr. Garrydeb, aren't you? Landlord who rents Mr. Natsume his room.
Master's wife? You get your ideas, sir. I'm the maid. The maid, you understand.
She's keeping up that charade. Ugh, this is going to be awkward. Why didn't you mention this yesterday? She'd been selected for the jury in this trial, I mean.
I was told not to mention it to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It was in the letter I received. The instructions were very clear, so I'm afraid I had no choice.
I see. Anyway, Mr. Natsume, the defendant, takes lodging in your master's house, doesn't he?
Yes, that's right. Although he's only been a little over a week now.
In that time, surely you must have taken stock of his character. Mr. Natsume looked like the kind of man who would commit a crime such as this.
Oh, my goodness me, yes. He's just the sort.
What?
Spending all his time in that dark, dingy room, sporting that unscrupulous
There's
mustache.
nothing wrong with his moustache!
Yeah. The man never speaks. And don't get me started on those shifty eyes. All the neighbors are talking about him. I've heard them, you know. People think he must be building a bomb in there or something.
Oh dear, poor Mr. Natsume. How could people say such things about him? He's just a harmless bookworm, nothing more.
You just call him a worm, so... Anyway, I'd better be careful about inviting this maid to speak. She said enough damning things already.
Yeah. I really do.
Man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes.
Don't get clever with me now, son. My life's on the line too, and so is my family's. The likes of you wouldn't understand, but a laborer like me can't afford to take time off. If I don't work, I don't eat, and neither do the wife and kids.
Oh, I see. That must be very hard.
I go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing. If you're late and the work's taken, it's tough. This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left, right, and center. They're after cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dawn till dusk it is.
So, you were out digging up the roads on the day of the incident as well, were you?
Aha! The road was probably out. I bet. That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it was just around the corner from where it all happened, by that old bookshop it was.
Another coincidence? Well, it might not have been closed, but there'd definitely be a reason for him to go the other way.
Yeah. That's right, Meerschaum
Yeah.
Street it was.
Isham Street.
On the map, Mr. Naruhodo, there are only 3 named streets.
Juror number 5, I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please.
What's the point in that? Can't we just get this business over with now?
Please, sir, it's important.
Fine, I'll do it then. Okay.
So, with the blonde guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Objection!
Those two statements are clearly at odds with one another.
Odds counsel, explain yourself.
Please don't point. It wasn't me, I swear. Eh? What? I just want to get this done and dusted.
Well, juror number 3?
Oh, me, sir? What do you mean?
Your number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. The implication. The day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of second-hand books. On the same day, we now know that there were works being carried out on Meerschaum Street, making it impassable. Which means the defendant's route home would not have taken him along Meerschaum Street and down Briar Road.
Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir? Well, yes, you can't really argue with that, really, can you? He must have had a good 2 yards or more of the pavement. We must have had a good 2 yards or more of the pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along had to turn back and go the other way.
The only conclusion is this. The defendant must have taken the longer route back to his lodgings.
Yes, I suppose he must have. I suppose I must be right here.
You were number 3. You said the following. Man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back from the bookshop. But see now that he had no choice.
Yes! My lord, Mr. Judge, sir, if I may.
I said, oh, okay. Yes.
I don't think in all good conscience that I can say the man's guilty now. Yes, I'd like to see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened. What about you, sir? Eh? Oh, me? Well, alright then. If there's a hole in the prosecution's argument, it should be filled in, that's what I say.
Because he was working on the road to fill in.
Yep. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. That was wonderful.
Oh, we managed to change a couple of minds at least. It strengthened our position somewhat.
Yes, and it will prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. They'll be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if we could just identify one more clue or discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume, we might be able to tip the balance completely.
Yes, that's exactly what we've got to do. And Z's is looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent, by whatever means we have at our disposal.
Thank you, Counsel. On with the summation examination, please.
Yes, my lord.
I guess we press the old guy.
Yep.
Hold it!
Sorry? Folded, you say? Fold what? No, what I said was hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often? I like the old books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about. And at what time did you visit your books on the day in question? Well, I was picking up books in there all afternoon, and it would have been just before 5 that I left. It's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about. Just before 5, you say? Exactly when the victim was attacked. You sure about the time? Oh, yes, no mistake there. I remember it well. Not about to forget that day in a hurry. Not after the dreadful time I had. What do you mean? Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on the ice and donked my head. Always was after the snow stopped falling. That's where it's most slippery. Knocked myself clean out, I did. I really thought my number was up. Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road. That's right. I live in Cornpipe, you see. Down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books. Rule number 6, I must insist. To add that information to your formal statement may very well be extremely significant. Sorry, extremely sick? No, I'm quite all right now.
You've changed 2 of the jurors' minds, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, just 2 more to go.
Deliver the finishing blow now. It's time to turn the tables here.
I knew how to do a Susato takedown. Those words will have to suffice for now.
Alright.
Right.
summation.
He's wearing green.
Mm-hmm.
These two statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning.
A flaw? What are you talking about, Counsel?
Well, juror number 2, juror number 6.
Ma, whatever do you mean, sir?
Shake
I
him
think
up.
perhaps the old man didn't hear you.
Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There is at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt we found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, into your books and purchased a number of second-hand titles, and returned home on foot.
But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey.
That's correct. What he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes.
Yes, we are all well aware of this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Can we really be sure of that, madam?
Ma, whatever do you mean?
I'm sure you heard the juror number 6 account of what happened to him that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim. He was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood. Actually, I was wearing my red coat that day.
My goodness, you mean...
That's right. Referring for, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6.
Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman at the end of the bench here with me today?
It is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man a somewhat similar build to the victim.
Well, look at that.
My goodness me!
Sorry? You need a pee? And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell.
On Calabash Road.
Therefore, if the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. If that's true, then clearly... crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home.
Oh, my.
Giving me the vapors.
You idiot, old man. If you hadn't been so daft as to be roaming about there, would have boxed yourself hours ago.
Really? What were you thinking wearing such a buff-fuddling coat?
Yeah, it was his fault, like he knew someone was gonna get murdered.
Stabbed.
Stab. What did you say to me? Is it a crime for the elderly who walk the streets these days, Is it a crime to slip over the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat, is it? Yes.
Split. My lord, I do hope I won't cause any inconvenience, but... You'd like to change your leading, I presume. I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty.
Thank you. I would too. A crime to change your mind, is it? Well,
Huh? Lol.
We did it!
Yay. Well, that submission examination has concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The ayes 2, the noes 4. So the noes have it. Not guilty, they say. Which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury.
the nose knows.
Objection.
The trial will continue.
You throw a tantrum every time this happens.
Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hallowed chalice moments after raising an objection?
Insubordinate and churlish.
only to crush it in disgust. Pray forgive the discourtesy. Lord Van Zeeks. It seems I must retract my earlier remark. What do you mean? I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. We have just witnessed them for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer.
Eh?
Objection.
Do you mean?
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I said is the truth. Maybe. Indeed. Stalwart juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road, as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated, sir.
That's right. Took me nearly the whole day, and they paid me a measly tuppence for it.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me. Do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents? Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no.
2 yards is a little less than 2 meters.
Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all. In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate figure. Would you not agree, my stalwart friend?
Eh? Me? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no.
What? And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works?
Eh? I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. No coaches would have had a hope of passing anyway, and we just turn any gentlefolk back when they come. Kids just jump right over us all the time.
The accused is no gentleman as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings around town.
Ah!
True.
It is...
The incontrovertible truth that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road. Rushed. In a single sentence, he said a lot more than that. And old man. Cold man? You can talk. You say that around 5 o'clock on the day in question, you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time? Oh, I can't say I remember. You don't remember? How about a wager, my learned friend? You say that it was this old man that the accused saw. I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it. Ah!
Order! Lord Van Zeeks, explain yourself.
My lord?
If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why the one did not proffer during the summation
They're not allowed to
examination?
speak.
I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. My hospitality has its limits. They have been reached, I feel. Ooh. Then the stream died.
Really?
Oh, my learned friend. No, it came back. Learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over. What are you talking about? My lord. The prosecution requests permission to call its next witness to the stand.
Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witness.
Next witnesses?
Mr. Naruhodo, do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident.
Yes, I remember. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less.
I'm afraid that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness.
Right? No matter who Van Zeeks brings to the stand as his witnesses, and no matter what they say, I believe in Sosi-san. I know he's innocent. I'll keep believing to the very end, until this battle is over.
Alright.
Oh, stop believing.
We'll pause as soon as we
Oh my.
get control back here.
Oh my.
Next time
How
we will.
dare you interrupt me?
Next time we will hear the testimony of those two. See you then.
Yeah. Of an anime
Goodbye.
girl and a sleepy policeman.
Yep.